Welcome to the very first episode, I guess, sort of actual official episode of Audiomind, the show where we look up new music that we may have never heard before, and then we listen to it and talk about how crazy it is because those artists must be out of their minds. They must be audio minds. I'm Andrew, and I'm joined by Abigail from, I guess, across the border. I was going to say all the way across the sea, but you're not really across the sea anymore.
No, I'm not.
You're finally after 2 years, you're back on the continent.
2.5. But yes.
2.5? Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah. 2.5 years, you're back on the continent. And so we're going to look at two very different songs, I guess, and or very different genres, and we're going to compare and talk about them. Mm-hmm. So, and this is actually technically not even our first episode.
No.
Because we tried to do one when both of us were living in Amsterdam.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
At the radio station there. Rest in peace.
Quote-unquote radio station.
Yeah.
Is it not a thing anymore?
Oh, no, I think the radio station still is, but I was just talking about our one episode, Rest in Peace.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever it is on the internet somewhere.
I don't even know if it's on the internet. I think I got some corrupted data or something like that, so that's my fault.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Yeah, it was a good episode, too.
It was pretty good. No one will ever know.
Maybe one day we'll go back and do it, maybe.
True. Yeah.
Go back and do those ones. But today we're doing, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce what genre that you sent me, because I'm pretty sure it's solipsynthesis.
Yes, I think so. I was also having difficulties trying to pronounce it, but I think I would say solipsynthum, which is terrible.
I thought it was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be like solipsism.
Yeah.
But maybe it is like.
Okay, so solipsynthum?
I have no idea. I mean, mine was easy to pronounce. Mine's just.
This genre is so small that there's not even like a pronounce, but like you can't even look up the word and have Google pronounce it for you. But as the name implies, I think it's supposed to be a terrible pun on solipsism.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was like, solipsism.
But it's terrible. I mean, how can anyone pronounce it?
That's why, like, I'm looking at the word, and it looks like solipsism, like you said, but then it's also like I can't tell where the synth is supposed to go. I'm also terribly dyslexic, so this is solipsynthum. Yeah, that's how I would pronounce it.
That sounds right.
Solipsynthum.
It sounds like a philosophy major was really proud of himself when he thought of that.
Are you just saying that because the name of our podcast is Audiomind and I was super proud about that?
No, I actually think that some philosophy student somewhere listened to like this synth poppy type music and was like, you know what? This is the name.
That or one of the artists is just like super full of themselves. But I gotta say, if we're starting with solipsynthum, then I gotta say I actually really liked this.
I thought you might actually.
The video you sent me was what was it called? Here.
I totally forgot which one I sent you.
Mystery Skulls.
Oh yeah, Mystery Skulls. What was the song I sent? Because there is Endlessly, yeah. So
yeah, the song was that song. Just the video. Like first time I saw that video, I was like, "Is it supposed to be like just massive amounts of like the giant evil or the one robot, not the evil one, the one dude's robot just comes straight out of a butthole."
Yeah.
Like the floor opens up, and the robot's coming out of it. And as the ground opened up, I was like, "That's a butthole."
Yeah.
It was just so sexualized.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. That's for sure. But there's actually this whole fandom around a lot of his videos as well. So for those of you who don't know, Mystery Skulls is theoretically, according to Every Noise at Once, the biggest artist in solipsynthum. Oh my god. Why did I do this to myself? And like the technical like identifier that Spotify or descriptor Spotify says about this genre is that it's solo laptop experimentalists.
So it's like bedroom artists.
Yeah, kind of. And they I found it really funny that Spotify was like, as a comparison, was like, it's like Complextro but more abstract than rhythmic, which I don't know what Complextro is, so
we'll have to do that for an episode.
Yeah, that'll be next maybe.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be like more ambient, abstract type music, but I think Mystery Skulls is pretty synth pop. He kind of reminded me of Chromeo when I was listening to him.
Oh, I don't know if it was the video, but when I was listening to it, it reminded me of like earlier Daft Punk. So like less funk than Random Access Memories and more like Discovery.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
That like techno pop, heavy on the synth, but like still singable with a nice tune. So we're not into like trance or trap.
Mm-hmm. I see that. But yeah, so Mystery Skulls is the biggest artist in this genre, according to Every Noise at Once. And I think he got pretty big in 2014. That's kind of when one of his videos got really big, called Ghost. And there's this whole fandom around these animated characters that he had for his videos.
Does he do the videos himself?
No, he hired some artist, I think. Pause for a minute.
Yeah. Because they did remind me a lot of like I said, like Daft Punk. Like when they released Discovery, they had all of Discovery. The whole album was done as like a live anime called, or not live, but called Interstellar 55555. Mm-hmm. And it's, if you haven't seen it, it's really worth watching.
I haven't. I should.
But like you've seen the video for One More Time, right?
No.
Like the blue people?
No,
you haven't seen the video for
No.
it? Oh, okay. This was like, for me, this was very evocative of that video, and even the music was a little less like that, but
yeah.
But I do have one comment to make about this whole genre based on you showed me you showed me the Mystery Skulls, and then you showed me the other one, which is Luxury with 2 X's. I first time I heard either of these, I was like, is this supposed to be like wooing and doing music? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I just like read into it because I saw the Mystery Skulls first.
Yeah.
And the song's called Pleasure by Luxury, and I was just like, this feels like wooing and doing music. Like this is the kind of thing you're supposed to throw on in the background when
wooing and doing,
setting the mood. Wooing and doing. You never heard that
such
before?
a way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know, that's the way that I don't know, it was very provocative that way. And also like a lot of the stuff in that Mystery Skulls video was just overtly sexual.
That's very true. It was his video that had the most views. That's why I sent it. I was like, this is probably the most popular song. But
it's got 1 million views.
Yeah.
And it was great. I was like, I enjoyed it a lot. It was just there's at one point in time when they like come out of their giant robots and the giant robots fuse together, and like the gentleman's robot is like overtly phallic and the woman's robot is overtly yonic, and they just like meet in the middle, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it is pretty sexual. But yeah.
That is to say, even that the music, because I've been focusing on the video.
I was focusing on the music more. I had the video up in another tab, and I wasn't even looking at it. I was just listening to the music. So I think I saw like the first 30 seconds of the video, maybe.
Oh, you should.
I should have watched the whole thing, but I was like,
oh, you should have watched it. It's amazing. Like I love every second of it. But like I was like, oh, this is for me. Like when I was listening to it, I like to. I mean, I definitely think like audio is a different component from the visual. Like the two of them are separate, but I do think like when you release a music video, it's part of the art form.
Definitely,
it becomes what people watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but tell me all about Solipsynthm.
Yeah. So there's not a lot on it because it's such a tiny genre. It's very.
But it's not
niche.
super new either.
No, because it's been around for a while, but I think part of me kind of wonders if Spotify just sort of came up with this as like a way to classify these artists that are like electric, like synth poppy, but of a certain kind. Like, I didn't even think that Luxury and Mystery Skulls even sounded like the same genre. Like, for them to be in the same niche sort of genre seems strange to me.
I wonder, I mean, genres in general are like stupid in how they come about. And we studied this all last year.
Yeah.
A lot of talking about how genres come about. So I wonder, does Spotify in general come up with its genre names based on like social and cultural things, or like niches or parameters, or does it do it through like actual electronic parameters? Like
I think it's through
computational music.
I think it's through actual electronic parameters. So maybe it was just a blip that kind of put these two together.
Oh, so all of a sudden there was like, because there's more than just the two of them. Like when you
there's around 100, I think.
Yeah, so there was a good amount of them. I wonder if if Spotify just like organizes information on songs or artists based on like BPM or harmony or like just different musical parameters, and goes like, this is a blip that even geographically, like, because sometimes I'm on there and like it's like Australia synth pop, and I'm like, well, what makes Australian synth pop different from German synth pop?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, other than geographically, because that's a given, but like, is there an actual like? And with the internet, it always makes me wonder, like, how much do these influence each other? How much do these genres influence each other? Are they just, is it just like, oh, it's geographically similar, so we post that in? I don't know. I don't know anything about how Spotify comes up with its genres. I usually don't use Spotify at all because it's terrible for the artists.
Very
but
true.
I don't use it to figure out what genres I'm looking at. I'm usually just like, this is a band I really like, or this is an artist I don't know anything about. I'm just gonna dive down this rabbit hole. And that's how I found both this one and the last one, the last artist that I did when we did Chap Hop.
Right. Yeah, Spotify is interesting. I mean, I've used like their API in some class assignments last year, but and it does kind of have a number for every sort of like various parameters that it assigns a number to based on, whatever acoustic signal processing it does.
Which is super cool.
It is very cool.
It's a great resource. Like Every Sound at Once, I think I used it for computational music last year.
Yeah. It's pretty great. But yeah, it is kind of like, I think you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, which is what I took with this genre as well, because also its definition is solo laptop experimentalist, which literally means like you're just experimenting with a laptop, so you could be making anything. It doesn't have to have any sort of set of parameters, like.
Yeah, and also what often happens like when genres are created is like the term for it winds up being like a gross overgeneralization.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, I really enjoyed this. To me, it just sounds like, I don't know, like it's what disco would turn into if it was like, so like this is what I'm imagining. Okay. Go on an adventure with me. Okay. You're at the disco club. All right. And you really like disco, and you listen to like, for dance music, you listen to like, new age disco or even classic disco or whatever. It has a heavy beat. And then like, as you meet your partner that you are thinking of, wooing and doing, and you make your way back to her place or your place or his place or whatever, you like move from like hardcore beat disco into this like solipsynthm to like, I don't know, that's just how it makes me feel, like to get into the wooing and doing, sort of slow things down, but it's still very poppy.
Yeah, Luxury I can see that with, but I don't think Mystery Skulls really.
Yeah, it's true. Mystery Skulls was
came off like that. It was very upbeat. It kind of reminded me. Yeah, it's like indie pop electric. Yeah.
Now, when you first posted it to me, you had said you're either going to absolutely love this or you're going to hate this. Actually, I think your words were actually, this will either amuse you or make you mad. So you were correct. It did amuse me, but I wonder why you thought it would make me mad.
I think mostly just because of the name, because I knew that you studied philosophy and like it's a terrible pun.
Yeah, I don't really know what it has to do with solipsism. Really.
I know. It just seemed random that it got assigned that name.
Yeah. Yeah. And then is there a reason you picked those particular artists, those two?
Those two are the biggest ones. So the ones that get like the most listeners. But then there were a couple that I just pointed out that I really liked the name of. So there was Whore's Mascara, Demoscene Time Machine, and Orpheus and Red Velvet. Just like there were a lot of really cool names on that page.
I gotta say, Whore's Mascara.
It's really good.
I saw something in there about like the tombs of Egypt. Or
oh yeah, it's like bats in the tombs of Egypt or something.
Yeah, bats in the tombs of Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about this. That's why what's so cool about this is now it's just like, wow, I have this other genre, this niche genre to add to my listening experiences. But it always amuses me when we get so in the genre of music that I like the most is like instrumental progressive metal, very guitar driven, and we have what we call like bedroom guitar players, which is like how a lot of the big names in that genre came about. They were just players who were playing in their bedroom and were fiddling with production, and they learned how to produce and play at the same time, and they all have like weird names too, like Cloud Kicker and Chimp Spanner. So I just wonder when you're on your own and nobody else is around, like if you're just and you and a laptop and a guitar, or you and a laptop and a piano, or whatever you're making, does that just prompt people to come up with the weirdest band names?
Probably.
Artist names?
They've got no one to hold them back, It's just them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to compromise your creative needs for anyone else. You can just be like, yeah, my band name is now, Bats in the Tombs of Egypt. Which is a great name, don't get me wrong. It's just, how did you come up with that? It kind of sounds like a euphemism for having boogers in your nose. I've got bats in my tomb of Egypt.
Oh my God. No, stop.
You're trying to be subtle and pass it off to a friend like, hey man, you've got bats in your tomb.
No, stop it. That's bad. I acknowledge your point of view is valid, but I disagree.
But mostly because our show doesn't have a video element, but for anyone who is listening, Abigail rolls her eyes at me like at least once a minute anytime I say something. Like, I wish there was an audio cue we could do so that people could hear like a slide whistle.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like,
we can start marking it. We can start marking it in the recording, and then you can tell me where to put in the sound effect.
The slide whistle. Oh, I think that might be a bit much.
I think it would just drown out all of your talking, to be honest.
Because it happens all the time. Yeah. Yeah. So what did you think when you found Solipsynthm? Like, because you sort of sprung it on me, which was fine. Like, that's how the nature of the show works,
I kind of hated it. I was kind of like,
really?
this is terrible. This is the internet being special. But I also kind of like it at the same time, it's just dumb. It's just.
Do you hate it because it like feels like a niche genre that doesn't need to exist?
It sounds like
the music's good.
It sounds like it's the type of genre that, like, I don't know. Like a cool guy that you're gonna go on a date with or something is gonna just talk about endlessly, and then you just want to leave.
Oh, and then he's not cool anymore because all he talks about is Solipsynthm.
Yeah,
I definitely have been that guy on a date. Not about Solipsynthm, but I definitely have been that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe that's what the name implies. It's for people who think they're really special, But
yeah.
But also maybe that's too much hate. Like, it's also like the music's definitely fine. Like, it's very good.
I think that's what I mean. Like, does the hate come from the fact that the subgenre feels like way too niche? Like,
I think so. I think it's unnecessarily niche. The music's good. I don't think it's that niche. I think it's very, like, I don't know, approachable, listenable.
Easily.
It's not my favorite genre. Like, that type of electronic music is not what I would go to listen to, but
Yeah, it's not my go-to either, but it's like I definitely
It's not
enjoy
bad.
everything you showed me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just, it's like, why come up with this really terrible name that you can't pronounce? That,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I wonder if Spotify came up with it.
probably. I mean,
I wonder when if Spotify comes up with genres, or if people come up with genres, they just come up with like words that are associated with the music that keeps coming up. Like, I don't know, if you scoured the internet, like maybe somebody was like, oh, this is a word that somebody came up with in order to describe the music, and then it just sort of sticks. Because like, I don't know, in my, when I was doing my thesis last year, I did a little bit about how I had to do a little bit of history about how post-rock came about.
Mm-hmm.
And like who was the first one to say it and how it became into popular use. And we see the same thing with like video games as well. Like just like, why do we use certain words to describe certain genres as opposed to others, and why they stick?
Yeah. I think I honestly kind of think it's a marketing technique. Like, how ridiculous could your name be, and who's going to put it in their article about, like, you know, 10 weird music genres, or like the newest music genre to go listen to, you know? Like,
yeah. If you want to get those hits.
Yeah, but then again, I'm like ironic and, you know, jaded about everything. So that's just my take.
I've met some jaded people. You're not that jaded.
It's fair.
Yeah. Well, like you said, this one's really easy and listenable. Mm-hmm. So what do you say we move on to noise rap?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had sent you 2 videos by the band Clipping.
Yes, I fucking love Clipping.
The first one was just super fun because I'm pretty sure we had talked about Clipping before, but I just really like that video, which is Stab 'Em in the Throat, which is a noise rap / industrial hip hop mix up of Rick and Morty done by Clipping.
I loved it. I loved the comments even more. Did you read the comments under that video?
No.
Oh my god. So good. There was so much hate. There was so much love. There was so much like calling the other people out, being like, if anyone likes this, they're trash. They should get stabbed in the throat. And then everyone else is like, if anyone hates this, they should get stabbed in the throat. It was so passionate. And
but because I mean, I think it's a weird mix up of like, you get people in there who are like Clipping fans.
Yep.
And then you get people in there who are Rick and Morty fans.
Yep.
And then you get people in there who are both Clipping fans and Rick and Morty fans.
Yes.
And I'm both. I like Clipping and I like Rick and Morty. But I could definitely see some Rick and Morty fans being like, what kind of shit is this? Because by nature, noise rap and industrial hip hop is like a mixture of, you know, classic R&B and rap with musique concrète.
Yeah.
And so you get these like really, especially that one part in the in that video at 2:11. It goes off from like I guess your traditional rap R&B like beat into like a noise rap, an industrial breakdown that's mixed up of all these like Rick and Morty noises and like from the show. And so I just thought I could see like someone, if they were a fan of Rick and Morty and not a fan of Clipping, or not understand what Clipping does, just being like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like the rapping's super good, but the background is, you know, really alienating.
Yeah, I think so. I've listened to Clipping since I don't know, 2015 or something.
Oh, you've heard about them before I did them.
Yeah, I really like them. And so it wasn't such a shock to me because I already had a pretty good understanding of what it is. I guess if I had never listened to anything like it before, I would probably be like, what is this? But it's really interesting. It's super cool.
I love it. I absolutely love it. The reason I sent you that video is because I know you're a fan of Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. I didn't know you were a big fan of Clipping. I knew you'd heard of them. I think I'm
more of a fan of Clipping than I am of Rick and Morty, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, I got that backwards. I'm a pretty big Rick and Morty fan, and I'm about equal levels on how much I'm new to Clipping. I started listening to Clipping like a little bit more hardcore last year, so 2019. But I'd heard about Clipping from Daveed Diggs, MC Daveed Diggs, who is the rapper and vocalist in the group, because he's famous in pop culture for playing the original portrayal of the Marquis de Lafayette and what's his name? I can't think of his name, the founding father from Hamilton.
Yeah, he's from Hamilton.
Yeah. He's from Hamilton. He's the guy who raps really fast, and he goes hard in clipping. I love it.
He's so good.
Hard. He is so fast, and the reason I chose clipping because I wanted to focus on industrial hip hop and noise rap, which are apparently the same thing. But I feel like, I mean, we were just talking about genre. I feel like that's a bit of a misnomer. Mm-hmm. Like I know industrial hip hop, but I always feel like there's a difference between hip hop and rap. So I feel like there should be a distinction between industrial hip hop and noise rap.
Yeah,
but that's just me. I mean, I don't know. I want your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just two names for similar things.
I think they are similar, but like the reason I bring it up, and this is totally my own thing. There's nothing on the internet or anything that I've read. This is totally just me, but like, because when you get through it, like they say, like some of the big names in industrial hip hop are like Public Enemy. And even Miles Davis's single On the Corner or album On the Corner, and 9 Inch Nails has a single called Down in It, and like I think they're all like industrial, especially Public Enemy, and I know Public Enemy raps and has a harsher, but like I think the industrial side, because you could even say like 50 Cent has some like industrial elements to it where they add like sirens, and which is indicative of music concrete, but like when I listen to clipping. Or even, I'll get to that in a sec, but when I listen to clipping, it's like almost harsh noise.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's rhythmic and it's done well, but it's like harsh noise.
Yeah,
I find that a little, it's different from like when Public Enemy or 50 Cent or use those, they use heavy beats and then they might use an industrial influence, but it doesn't feel like noise to me, which is why I called it noise rap.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially, I forget, is the album called Body and Blood by Clipping?
Well, they've got a couple albums.
I'm thinking of one in particular that has a lot of like high pitched kind of noises on it.
Oh, more, yeah, okay, yeah.
It was one of their first albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's totally different than anything that like 50 Cent or Public Enemy has produced. So,
and I'm not saying that 50 Cent is necessarily like industrial hip hop. Public Enemy is.
Yeah.
He's specifically called out as one of the big names in industrial hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 50 Cent definitely isn't, but
yeah. But I mean, they like a lot of rap has that industrial element, like when they use samples of sirens or gunshots or and a lot of hip hop in general uses that because of the nature of African American culture in North America and what that entails going on there. But no, I just thought like, do you think I'm splitting hairs when I make a difference between industrial hip hop and noise rap, like, or do you think there's some validity to that argument?
I mean, it is splitting hairs, but I also think that clipping is very different from Public Enemy. So in that sense,
but is that just like the difference between artist to artist, or is that an actual genre differential?
I think it could be genre differential, or it could just be clipping is far to one side of the genre, and I don't know, Public Enemy is more in the middle.
Yeah,
I guess
because like Public Enemy definitely has like a harsher vocal style and harsher lyrics. At least in the way he delivers, versus like, I mean, I just love the smoothness of David, the way that David Diggs raps over top of this like,
it's so good,
very harsh noise.
I could listen to him for days.
Yeah, and it's not harsh noise in terms of like the genre harsh noise or black noise or white noise, but it is quite harsh. I mean, the second video that I sent you was like them playing live.
Oh my god, so good. Wow.
Wow, I mean,
they killed it.
That's why I say like it's mandatory listening for clipping fans. Like if you and it's, I mean, did you watch the whole thing? Did you watch the interview afterwards?
I didn't watch the interview afterwards.
Okay, so because afterwards I know that I can't remember which one of them. It's either so the two producers that work on the noise rap, their names are William Hudson and Jonathan Snipes, and one of them has a PhD, if not both of them.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure one of them has a PhD in like electronic music and music concrete.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool. But like the one dude plays the glass.
Yes.
Like, it's so cool. He just
So
has
cool.
a microphone built into a shotgun shell.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like crunches glass and like mixes it around, and he gets these huge noises by running them through filters and whatnot. And it was so great.
It's so
that's
cool.
gotta be it's so good. Mandatory listening for clipping and noise rap fans. But
and we'll link to those videos in the description.
Sure. Yeah, you got to check them out. Especially like the video for the Mystery Skulls is just worth watching because, but the video for clipping is like, when I say it's mandatory watching, I mean like it's just incredible to see how they perform. And DJ Basak is also in there. He's I just want to shout him out as well because he has like a solo thing in there, and he's
so good.
He's really good. Yeah. He's an artist that is associated with that clipping. Like, he's played with clipping on almost all of their live performances. He plays with them, but he also does his own thing, and he's also been on a couple of their recordings as well. So, but he's worth shouting out because. But it's so good. I mean, I don't even know what else there is to say. I just wanted to talk about clipping.
Yeah. No, they're great.
And the sort of like I've been really interested in this sort of like, I guess it's not a genre or even a subgenre, but like I guess it's just electronic music. But there's this idea called like, I think I'm gonna do another one on it. But there's this idea called like plunderphonics, when you like make something new out of something old. So like people will not steal, but they'll take music from another genre or from a not musical thing, and then put it into remixing it into music. And Clipping is one of the bands that does that. Except they don't quote unquote steal their music. They make all their samples live. So in the second video, the video of them live, they actually talk about in the interview about how all of the bullets sounds, all of the gunshot sounds in the song Shooter, which is the last song I think they play, is those are all recorded by them. They went out and recorded themselves and their friends shooting some guns so they could use them in the song, which I thought was excellent. Like make all your own samples and do all that stuff live. That's why they have DJ Basak. So like their songs are, I'm pretty sure they have a backing track, but all the sounds they say, the sounds that they make and that you're hearing are all produced live through effects and whatnot. So it's cool. Just incredible. Yeah. And I thought it was just, I wonder even how they developed that kind of thing. Like if it was if they just came around because they were interested in musique concrète and rap, or if it was like an extension of just going heavier and heavier into the realm of noise away from industrial.
Yeah, I haven't really looked too much into their history.
It was hard to find anything really on their history. Most of the history is of the band, like the members. So one of the members used to be in a band called Ahab. I Am Ahab, I think it is. It could be Captain Ahab. But it was like a similar idea. Let me see if I can find it. Jonathan Snipes used to be in a band called... yeah, they used to be in a band called Captain Ahab, and they actually have a song featured on the film soundtrack of Snakes on a Plane.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's random.
And this was all before clipping became a thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's such a strange combination. Like, oh, let's have like some hardcore musique concrète and put some heavy beats in the background, and then just rap about whatever the heck David Diggs is thinking about at the time.
Yeah.
And apparently they just sit down and talk about like sci-fi and everything that interests them when they write.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they do a really good job of blending, like abstract, noise rap with more popular rap as well. I mean, the way David raps is really kind of captivating, and then I think they do a really good job of bringing it a little bit closer to like the pop rap type genre, which maybe I mean they are totally like in one direction, but they're not mainstream, but I think I know what you mean. Like, there is a listenability. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not sometimes
alienating.
Right. Sometimes you'll listen to really avant-garde stuff and you'll be like, this is interesting but but like for short periods of a time where like I could listen to a whole clipping album in like one go, you know, or like just have it on I guess even have it on in the background. I mean, it's something has really good listenability. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we had talked about, in our Lost episode, we had talked about lowercase. Mm-hmm. And lowercase is super interesting. And I think about it a lot since we've done that, and that was almost 8 months ago.
Right.
But I don't listen to lowercase.
Right. Same.
But I do think about it a lot.
Same. Definitely. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to like do another episode on lowercase at some point. And if like for those of you, for listeners who don't know what lowercase is, you should give it a Google or a search.
Yeah. Don't just search lowercase though, because then it'll just talk about the letters. Like search lowercase music, maybe in brackets.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's very interesting. It's just, and it not that it doesn't have listenability. It just doesn't have like a clear rhythm or melody all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's on the far end of music, I think. You know, between music and noise.
Well, I mean, if you want to get that definitive about where music and noise is, we could go down that philosophical rabbit hole.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. No, I think you're right. Like when we say like, I guess it's not even like we could say that noise rap or clipping is pure music concrete, because there obviously is a vocal element and a rapping element, but they do bring it into the world of listenability. It's not just harsh noise or industrial noise. Mm-hmm. And actually I was going to bring this up too, because I wondered, because of the inclusion of bass and the style of harsh noise and I wondered if or why certain artists were included as noise rap or industrial hip hop and other artists weren't. So I looked up Ghostmane.
Oh, yes.
Because Ghostmane is like very aggressive sounds, a lot of filters over the voice, heavy bass use, but he's not considered industrial hip hop or noise rap. He's considered like emo rap.
Yeah, that makes sense though, to me.
Yeah, I mean like he doesn't use any. Go on.
I wouldn't group him group them in clipping in the same. You know, I wouldn't think about them in the same thought, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just seems like this very harsh, grating style. I really like Ghostmane. This harsh, grating style that sort of matched with the aggressive, you know, big sounds of noise rap. But it wasn't considered noise rap. And is that... I'm struggling with that, because like, is the inclusion of music concrete what makes noise rap or industrial hip hop what it is? Because there are lots of bands on that list, both in the past and the present, that like developed industrial hip hop that don't have like huge roots in music concrete. Like they do, but
yeah. I don't really know. I mean, I do think Ghostmane is definitely more like metal than clipping.
Yeah, there's clearly like sense. I mean, I think he was part of this whole like metal rap thing. I think he was part of, actually, in a Florida where he's from. He has like was part of a metal group or a screamo group, and then moved to California, and like, because you can see a lot of that influence in the way that he raps and in the music that he writes, and even in his lyrics.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, those are pretty much all my thoughts about noise rap and industrial hip hop. And I very much enjoyed listening and learning about Solipsynthm, except it's dumb to say. I'm still terribly mad at that name.
That was a good pronunciation just then, though.
I think it's because I wasn't really thinking about it.
That's probably it. I think you look at it and you're like, how can I say that?
Because sometimes, this happens to me a lot, but sometimes when I see a word, I'll like read it in my mind, but I haven't said it out loud. So like I don't know how to shape the word with my mouth yet. Yeah. Like in like the actual like kinesthetic knowledge. And that's why that word, like, I think it makes more sense as a pun on paper intellectually than it does to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. Those are all my thoughts. Any closing thoughts on Solipsynthm and noise rap / industrial hip hop?
No, I think I've said everything I've wanted to say.
I think I have too. And do you think you'll continue listening to either one of these?
I mean, obviously, yes, for clipping. I don't know about Ghost Mystery Skulls, or Solipsynthm.
Solipsynthm.
I actually liked Luxury quite a bit. I might give them another listen because they were they're pretty decent. And I think that's more, I'm not a huge fan of like the driving poppy, like synthy stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And Luxury was like more laid back, and that's kind of more my feel when I want to go.
I liked both of them. I don't know that I would search them out, but if I heard them again, I think I would probably recognize them and enjoy them.
Yes, agreed.
And I definitely will continue listening to clipping. And if I there's one takeaway that everyone should take away from this video, from our podcast, is that you need to watch that video.
You do.
Of
it's so
clipping
good.
live, stick around for the interview too. It's worth it just to learn about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Do you want people to find you on the internet? Social media?
Maybe we should make an Instagram page or something, or a page for this.
You can definitely do that. Make an Instagram page. You can make a Facebook page. I am not on social media. You can
That's
find
fair.
me here. You can find my band, Robot Philosopher, if you want to listen to that genre. And we're on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify. But yeah, maybe we should make an Instagram. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Cool. We'll be in touch about that.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have more episodes coming soon.
Sounds good.
Peace out.
Bye.